This is the regular meeting of the Arts and Culture Commission. Today is Thursday, August 21st, 2025. Madam Recording Secretary, please take roll call.
Commissioner Rosso,
Here.
Commissioner Wu,
Here.
Commissioner Lopez Guerra, Commissioner Hernandez, Commissioner Ochoa, Commissioner Peña Marin,
Here.
Commissioner Bermejo.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Seeing a quorum, this meeting is officially called to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, members of the public may address the Arts and Culture Commission regarding any non-agenda items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the committee. No action may be taken on non-agenda items unless authorized by law. Does the public have any comments they wish to share with the commission? Please know that you have 3 minutes to speak.
First one, I have Sarah Guerrero.
Commissioners. Hi, I'm Sarah Guerrero. I had sent I'd sent a letter to you all, and I wasn't sure if you had read it. I had not received a response, but just know that I'm here in support of what you do. If it's okay, if you'd like, I can just read what I wrote, just sort of that we're all on the same page. I'm writing in response to your last meeting held in July of 2025. I wasn't here, but I got to watch it, so I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you for being here, supporting the art. I had some questions and thoughts regarding the discussion. I'm with Breath of Fire, and we've been honored to receive funding for 2004-2005, so we are a recipient. I've also been an individual artist in the past, a 2-year recipient as well, pre-pandemic. And the experience has given me perspective on both the process and the impact of your support. I'm curious why input from previous recipients has not been solicited or incorporated into your planning. Data and feedback from grantees could provide valuable insight for future program design, just as we as grantees provide detailed reporting for accountability and learning. I'm also interested in the Commission's long and short-term goals for supporting the arts. Currently, most available grants prioritize new projects rather than sustaining existing programs. While innovation is important, small organizations often struggle to maintain the infrastructure and teams that make new work possible. General operating support would greatly strengthen these organizations during the longevity of very programs that the Commission seeks to uplift. Regarding the potential theme discussed, I have concerns limiting the grant theme to immigration. While an important topic, very important topic, risk being overly prescriptive, potentially cliche, and even re-traumatizing for some. Marginalized communities are too often asked to relive and share their trauma. In my work in Theater for Social Justice, I strive to go beyond this, creating art that invites imagination, transformation, and dialogue. Not just the recitation of hardships. A pamphlet could convey the same impact, then the deeper artistic experience is lost. I would welcome the opportunity to discuss these ideas further and brainstorm ways that the Commission can support both innovative and sustainability while fostering themes that invite a broad range of artistic responses. Thank you for your time. And again, just a big supporter of the fact that we have an Arts Commission, the fact that we have funding. I am here as an ally. I'm a longtime resident. I've worked in theater as a professional for over 30 years. Faculty member, professional playwright and director. So I'm here at your leisure, okay? Thank you so much for your time.
We have next Nancy Warser Brady.
Good evening, Chair Vu and Arts Commissioners. I am Nancy Warser Brady. I am the Education and Community Engagement Director for Backhouse Dance, We are a professional contemporary dance company. We are about to start our 23rd year, and we've been working with Santa Ana Unified for probably 23 years. And I know several of our dancers have been on faculty at OSHA. And I'm here basically pretty much to say that we are such a supporter and so appreciative of the support of contemporary dance and the depth of what you've enabled to provide for Backhouse Dance. And this is kind of like a little preview about an invitation to all of you and to the community for our residency, which is just about to begin next month. We're calling it CoLab because it's a complete immersive collaboration between art, intersection of art, music, and dance at iconic historic gallery, Orange County Center for Contemporary Art. We're thrilled to be partnering with Brennan Roach, local artist and musician, in his new exhibition, Visual Morphology. And we're going to be creating a work where the community is also invited to engage with us, to help us be part of the creative process. We're reaching out to students throughout Santa Ana Unified and to join us in our workshop, free for National Dance Day. And then everyone is invited to our world premiere performance, where the audience, as they're immersed, becomes part of the whole dance. So it's just really a preview. We're very excited, and we're about to be starting. Although we met with Brennan at his studio, we've seen some of the paintings, and we've listened to the music, and this process has started. So we're a strong believer in the work in the city of Santa Ana, where we're working with schools, elementary, middle, and high, as well as Santa Ana College. And just want to thank you so much for your support. So please, we hope that you'll see us when we're rehearsing. Come and join the open rehearsals and the workshop and the performance. Thank you.
All right, we'll move on then to the consent calendar. This is the time for the commission to consider matters under consent calendar items numbers 1 through 3. Do I have a motion to consider items 1 through 3?
I motion.
Thank you.
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Bermejo, for the motion, and then Commissioner Peña-Marin for the second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Matter approved by unanimous consent. And then, given that we have a new commissioner here right now, actually, before we get started with the rest of the agenda, Commissioner Bermejo, would you like to take a couple of minutes to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you for having me here today. My name is Victorino Bermejo. I'm raised in Santa Ana. I went to John Adams Elementary, Carr Intermediate, Valley High School, and Santa Ana College. I graduated with an AA from Santa Ana College in marketing and international marketing. And then I started my own business for small businesses here in Orange County and Santa Ana to help them with marketing for mom and pop shops that want to get their business up there but don't understand how to go about social media. That's where I would step in and help a lot of the small mom and pop shops here in Santa Ana. But besides that, I am here to serve and give back to the city of Santa Ana. Personally, I came up and I grew up on a lot of programs here in Santa Ana, from free and reduced school lunches to scholarships from Santa Ana Santa Ana College, as well as like programs that really just push for the arts and higher education. So I'm really looking forward to giving back to our community. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction, Commissioner Bermejo, and looking forward to working with you more. We'll proceed now with the rest of the agenda. So we have 3 items under work study session. Please note that there will be no motion or action taken on these items. The first item under the work study session is investing in the artist grant 2024 to 2025, the grantee presentations.
Thank you, Chair Vu. It's always a joy to be able to listen to these presentations from our cohort, our 2024-2025 cohort of artist grantees. The first one is from Hope Community Services, and Katie Tran will be presenting.
Good evening, Chair, and also the member of the Arts and Culture Commission. My name is Katie Tran, and with me is Annie, and we're both from Hope Community Services. Go to the next slide, please. A little bit introduction about our organization. We're right here in Santa Ana, and we started out serving just the Vietnamese American community with ESL and citizenship classes, but then we also evolve and understand how diverse this beautiful community is, and we have served in Santa Ana as well. We have many wonderful activities, but those, I think pictures speak louder than words if you can look in the back. We serve from senior to kids to family, some of the really fun activity that we do. But I really want to highlight the art program that we are here to speak about today. Can I go to next slide, please? Okay, so the art program that we have, first is called My Colors, My Mind. And our wonderful teacher there, and I also brought some of the sample from the students. They are, a lot of them are actually first-time art students. They were really shy and very timid at first due to their background and the history of the Vietnamese older folks. They don't really get a chance to do art. So this is, some of them are their first time, and we can really see their progress along the way, and they just have more confidence, and they're able to support each other. And what's wonderful about this art program is not just about art, but also about mental health. A lot of these folks, this is their chance to connect with other members, to gain confidence, to feel that they are still valuable member of community, and to truly learn art, because this is, some of them, it's their first time. And Annie also gonna be here and show some of the artwork that our students have done. And the class is in bilingual, Vietnamese and also English, so they get to learn English as well, and a lot of fun activity that our wonderful teacher, Thầy Hiệp, you can see that they do all these movements just to kind of get them started. Okay, can we go to the next slide? And another one of our program that really popular is the flower arrangement. And flower is something that is not always accessible to the community, so is art. Usually is, you have to be from a more like capable family in order to have flower at your house, but these classes are free, especially for seniors, so they can come, they can learn how to make flower, and they can actually bring it home and enjoy the beautiful creation and enjoy the flowers that they make. Some of these picture, like they do a little flower, a crown right there, and a little arrangement all provided to them. I would really like to highlight that story right there on the right corner with the mom and the daughter. So the mom actually have dementia, and the daughter would bring her like every flower class, every art class, and it's a way for her to still connect with her mom. I love them so much, and I always looking forward to see them and see what they create. And also go to the next slide. Our flower arrangement class got so popular, so many people would call us and say, hey, we want to get better at this. I'm a florist, I want to learn more skill. So we, with the support and the grant from the artist grant, we're able to expand our program to an advanced flower arrangement. So these are maybe some people that already know how to do flower, and they want to improve their skill to support their business. So they have a bigger and more complicated project, and this is a wonderful group, and to show some of the really beautiful flowers that they have created. And yes, I hope you really enjoy our arts, and we're gonna present a lot of these art at our whole festival where we highlight our culture and different region in Vietnam. Not a lot of people know that Vietnam is very rich in culture, and different region actually have their own art, has their own costume, have their own food, and this is a way that we share the culture to the community in Santa Ana, and also preserve our culture to the American kids that were born here. So it will be in the first week of October, and I hope that guys can make it. Yeah, thank you. And thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, so I'd like to invite any commissioners who'd like to make any comments or questions for Katie.
Thank you so much. I loved you sharing that particular family, the pair that you connected with so much. And I'm really curious of some of your other offerings, like Spill the Tea, can you, or the song on Little Saigon Radio. Can you tell us more about these projects?
Yeah, so song is we actually have a radio show like once a month on Little Saigon Radio. It's a radio that a lot of Vietnamese people listen, and then we will share with them our activity as well as whatever that topic that we feel that the community might have questions about. It could be like a health topic. During COVID, we share a lot about COVID information, or like, you know, any update on immigration status and that kind of similar information sharing. We also have a workshop once a month and in Vietnamese as well. And Spill the Tea is, I'm so biased, but I have so many favorite programs in there. It's definitely one of my favorite as well, where we would go to high school and also university, working with some our Southeast Asian student group. And we will have different topic and a speaker who are their peer who would speak on topic like stress or intergenerational trauma, to really speak from the heart, and the student will gather and they will share with each other what is their take on that topic, what challenge that they are dealing with. So that's another peer-to-peer with a therapeutic result, yeah. Thank you.
I just really want to commend you for the work that that you're doing. It was so beautiful to see the photos of the families with these bright, shining faces, smiles all over. Coming from a Vietnamese immigrant family myself, I know that my parents, my aunts and uncles, they were always so focused on work, right? And things that would help make the family like stable.
Yeah.
That even my mom, when she would do flower arrangements, it would be for like an event at work or something like that. And so it's so wonderful to see them engage in a way that isn't motivated purely by the desire to like make their family stable, but to pursue art for joy and for community's sake as well. So you're doing really amazing work. And with all different parts of the community, all different generations. So I really commend you for that. Please keep going, and I hope to maybe see you at the festival. Please send us the information on that.
Yeah, thank you for making it happen. Without you guys, I don't think we're able to really invest in this program for our community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie, and Hope Community Services. Next is Orange County Environmental Justice presented by Maya Chev.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Maya. I'm the Land and Health with Orange County Environmental Justice, or OCEJ. We're a group that does a lot of work related to environmental health issues that impact specifically low-income communities of color all throughout Orange County, but our offices are based in Santa Ana and our roots are definitely based there as well. Yeah, I'll let
Chairwoman. Yes, of course. My name is Nancy Alcala. I am an as it comes to creatively for our social and environmental in Santa Ana, lead in our soil.
Yes, so we have some ongoing research related to lead in the soil of Santa Ana, super high levels that are exceeding state guidelines that can impact children's health, especially because they're the ones who play outside in the dirt the most. And if you're familiar with lead poisoning, it can cause a lot of health effects. And so this project is kind of one subset of what we're doing to try and tackle this issue. If you could go to the next slide, that would be great. Okay, so with this, some of the components of our Investing in the Artist curriculum is a History of Art and Movements workshop, zine workshop, and then seed bomb workshop. Go to the next slide. Thank you. So with the history of art and movements, Nancy led this presentation to our residents to talk about how art has been used in social justice in like over decades, and using lots of different types of forms. For example, like music, dance, performance art, painting, sculptures, movies, things like that. And so this was a very informative presentation with a guidebook that you can see in that third picture. And they also had an activity where they created posters about different social justice issues that they were interested in fighting for. And you can go to the next slide. This is just like our social media post showing some of the different topics that we covered in the workshop. Slide. Then we had a zine workshop with another artist called Emlu. And so zines have been historically used very frequently to kind of push for social justice change. And the important element about zines is that they're shorter than magazines, they're self-published, and they're very easily accessible. So we had this workshop where they created their own designs. Go to the next slide. This is just a sample of some of Emlu's artwork in the social media post, talking about like a better world, and yeah. And then with the seed bombs, basically, there are different plants and fungi that are native to California. They're very resilient and good at growing in different climates and temperatures, and they're scientifically proven to absorb lead out of the soil. And so we're trying to utilize this method in order to heal the lands and protect the children from lead poisoning. And so we cover the history of soil lead, the history of seed bombs, and how they can be used and how they can be made in the workshops. Nancy can talk a little bit about this booklet that we created.
This is a process now that's gone on for about 4 years. Back in 2020, as an artist, ceramic artist, we have a lot of waste in the studio. And so I was thinking, how can I put my different hats together and really make an impact? And so one of the ways was to take in all of that waste that was thrown into our landfills. And so taking in that clay, adding fungi, adding our plants that naturally leach that lead out of the soil, creating these seed bombs. And so through that, we've been able to more and more use this knowledge, understanding to pass it on to our residents. So with that, we have our little guide to bioremediation, and which you can scan 2 QR codes. One QR code will give you the bioremediation with seed bombs, and then the other is as our residents are dispersing out these seed bombs, they're able to drop a pin where they're dropping those seed bombs. So really we're able to locate where the impact is happening through our city, and we're hopefully being able to compare to the lead map, specifically where that lead is most concentrated, to see where the please scan these QR codes to get bioremediation.
Sorry, we're a little bit over time. I'll just cover one last thing. We have some future workshops this Saturday at the Heritage Museum, and then some resident-led workshops where residents will be leading the program to also get a stipend of $400 in September and October, and a culminating event in November.
Thank you, Maya. Any comments or questions from the commissioners?
Yes, I want to say thank you for the seed bomb program. I know Nancy for about 10 years now, and she's very dedicated to her work as a clay artist, as well as her exhibit that she had where she started a seed bomb distribution. And so I think it's really great that you guys are doing this, especially tracking it through a QR code to give us a better read of data, which is weird because you don't really mix data and art together. But this is a really great thing you guys are doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm so excited to see the interdisciplinary nature of this project and how focused it is on an issue that's very, not unique, but is very important to Santa Ana, right? It sort of has a Santa Ana base, and just tying in as an educator, I see so many ways that it would really be exciting. I'm curious if you might just be able to share one or two comments you've heard from participants. I'm imagining there's a lot of young people. I'd love to know what they say or what they think about any of these ideas.
I think that there's a lot of community members, youth, and just like in general, who are unfamiliar with the lead issue in Santa Ana. So I think they feel very surprised, and a lot of them are concerned about like what they can personally do. And because it's such a big issue, because it's in the literal soil that's beneath their feet, they have tended to feel like powerless in the past. But because we are bringing these workshops, they feel like they have a little bit more control over that situation and being able to do some individual kind of levels of prevention in like their backyards, at their schools. So I think we're very grateful for the money from the city in order to like bring these workshops to the community.
And I'll add to that, I am a huge proponent of people learning more about the land where they live. And it's only a more recent journey of mine that I've learned more about like local native plants, the landscape here, what makes up all of Orange County, the watershed of the Santa Ana River and all of that, and how important it is to steward this land as best as we are able in order to make it sustainable for many generations to come. And I really appreciate the work that you're doing to combine art along with this environmental education, along with like a political empowerment for people to be able to do that from a young age. So many applauses from me.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you, Maya and Nancy, and the Orange County Environmental Justice Group. Okay, next is the Vietnamese American Arts and Letters Association, presented by Isa Lei.
Hello, how are you doing? My name is Isa Lei, and I'm the Executive Director of the Vietnamese American Arts and Letters Association, VALA. And VALA was established in 1991, and we have 4 core programs: the Viet Film Fest, the annual Viet Film Fest, Viet Book Fest, exhibitions, and Youth in Motion, or a youth art program. And this year is Youth in Motion. Next slide, please. So Youth in Motion is a free hands-on filmmaking and storytelling program created to amplify the voices of young people through the art of visual storytelling. And designed for youth ages from high school and college students, the program offers a unique opportunity to learn the basics of filmmaking, from writing and storyboarding to editing, shooting, and screening the shorts at Viet Film Fest in October. Next slide. So right now we are in this week 6 and 8, which is the production. So we started a couple of months ago, and right now the young participants just finished their scripts. Actually, they are still finishing up their scripts, but they are going into production. And we have filmmakers who come to teach them how to use a camera, and we'll be teaching directing as well as working with actors. Slide. The workshops actually taking place mostly at MASA, Media Arts of Santa Ana, and we will also have a couple of workshops at Southland Integrated in Garden Grove as well, because they have a large space that we can do more acting as well as filming if possible. And we have guest artists who came to speak to the young participants. The young man featured in the slide is actually filmmaker Julian Duan. Julian just got his short film done. It's called Long Lost and Minimarked. So he showed his short film and talked about his journey, artistic journey to the participants. So this is their firsthand exposure to the art of filmmaking and told by a actual filmmaker. Next slide, please. Oh, yeah, we try to but it's embedded in the slide, so it couldn't be played. But anyway, so the set of short films, we anticipate to have 3 short films done by the participants, and they will be premiere at VIF Film Fest, which will take place from October 10th to the 12th at the Frida Cinema in Santa Ana. And it will be also online, which will run from October 4th through the 19th. Please check out our schedule, which will be posted on August 30th on vivfilmfest.com. And this is a program that's dear to our heart because it's really amazing to see how the young participants come together and create the films and tell their stories through films. And we couldn't do this for the past 5 years. After the pandemic, the program was put on hold. It was started in 2014. So I'm so glad that we received your support to restart this program. Thank you so much.
What a beautiful event, and I love that you have something targeted very specifically to youth, because I've been, I mean, your film festival is famous, is international, I believe, and it's so beautiful to see it grow. I'm curious if you might be able to share 1 or 2 themes that the students are developing films around or have interest in, like the stories they're trying to tell?
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised because usually they would pick documentaries as a genre, but this year I think they are all fictional. So I think one is kind of futuristic, one is I think about family, and I'm not sure about the other one because they're still doing the script. But in the past we had documentaries on the importance of keeping your mobile homes, to like LGBTQ parade, how they were not allowed to join the parade, the Tết parade, the New Year parade in Little Saigon. So that was a really good documentary. And then we had documentaries or fictional on family themes as well as love. So it's yeah, we don't know what they will do. That's the beauty of it, right? And then we will get to see it on the big screen on Saturday the 11th. And you're all invited.
Well, I'm so excited to see this program. I feel like it's much needed for this program to come back now, and knowing like the long history of VALA and VIF and how far it's come, I think it's so amazing, this program in particular, given how so many of the directors that are Vietnamese American, the ones have been able to make it to the international stage, have come through VIF in the past. And so to have these young filmmakers join this amazing legacy also, and really be able to have this on their portfolios with the same amount of prestige is so amazing. Thank you so much for the work that you do, and I can't wait to see the new films that come out this year.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Wu. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lisa and Vala. Next is the Orange County Children's Therapeutic Arts Center, presented by Carlos Beltran.
Good evening, Chair Wu, commissioners. Thank you for the time and place so that we can share the program that we provided for the Santa Ana Virtual Academy. I had the pleasure of running this program. It's also known as SAVA, this school, in partnership with the Santa Ana Unified School District. SAVA provides a unique adaptive learning environment for students who benefit from flexible approaches. Our program had 2 primary goals. First, to encourage students to explore Santa Ana's arts and cultural assets and consider the arts as a professional pathway. Second, to guide students through the process of planning and executing a commercial-style art project, specifically a mural celebrating a local arts practitioner. Next slide. We introduce students to the history of portraiture, beginning with Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa. This helped them see how the arts has always been used to capture personality, power, and identity. Next slide, please. We then connected this tradition to Frida Kahlo, an artist closer to their own cultural experiences, emphasizing on how art can communicate personal struggles, cultural identity, and deeper meaning. Next slide, please. Finally, we examined contemporary portrait artists and how technology through digital tools, photography, and social media has changed the way art is created and shared today. Next slide, please. Students participated in 5 one-day painting exercises focused on the elements of art. They also researched their own neighborhoods, identifying local cultural assets such as murals, galleries, music, and city-sponsored events in downtown Santa Ana. Next slide, please. We discussed the role of culinary arts in representing culture and how local food traditions and family businesses are another important expression of creativity in their communities. Next slide, please. From this exploration, students proposed several mural projects. One, a single mother promoting homemade dishes through social media, musicians they had seen during Dia de los Muertos celebrations, and ultimately a lucha libre wrestler, a figure they felt represented strength, tradition, and cultural pride. Next slide, please. We discussed how free digital applications could be used to stylize the wrestler's portrait. Then, the design was divided into 16 canvases to form a mural-sized painting. Each canvas was assigned either to an individual student or shared among a small group, allowing both independent work and collaboration. Next slide, please. After completing the mural, students decided to paint self-portraits, recognizing themselves as contributors to the city's arts and culture. These portraits allowed them to reflect on identity, belonging, and how they see themselves within the community. Next slide, please. We celebrated their creativity by exhibiting their works at OCTAC's Bloom 25, our annual arts recital attended by families and community members. Next slide, please. Their work was also featured at Sava's promotion ceremony, where students, parents, and faculty gathered to view and celebrate the achievements of these young artists. Next slide. And next. And next. On behalf of our students, our community, and OCTAC, I want to thank you all for your commitment to making the arts and culture accessible in Santa Ana. Your continued support creates a safe, nurturing, and inspiring city where our young people can grow, thrive, and imagine their futures through creativity. Thank you.
Just a quick question. These classes or the program you offer, is it both in Spanish and Vietnamese, or is it just in English?
All students, we have the ability to, let me start by saying that we hire, in this case, I was teaching the class, and Spanish is my first language, but we have instructors who can communicate in Spanish and Vietnamese as well. But for this particular program, our students all spoke English.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Of course.
I want to start by saying thank you for welcoming us into your space earlier this year. I want to say maybe the start of the summer. It was a beautiful display of just the care that you take with the community, and your outcomes it was incredible to see how with very little time and the care with the arts, that the work that the students produce and how they perform and just their confidence. So I just want to applaud you and everyone at OCTAC. And I really enjoy how you partnered with the school district in this case. And also just it's beautiful to see a campus that maybe doesn't have a lot of in-person activities or collaborative opportunities. So applause there as well.
I just wanted to congratulate you as well with the work that you do. And I know that you have been here for years. OCTAC has been a part of this community, so it's wonderful to see the work like this. Thank you.
And I'll just say, it was really beautiful seeing the smiles of the the young artists in holding up their own self-portraits. I know self-portraits are so personal. I know it's very often like an introductory assignment in art classes, but it's so difficult to do in a way that you can feel proud of. And every one of those students, they seem to be holding their images up with such confidence and pride. And that itself is definitely proof of a job well done. So congrats, and please keep it up.
Thank you. I'll just close with this. The arts are a powerful tool to empower a community, especially during times like the ones we live in today. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Carlos. Okay, next is Girl Scouts Orange County, presented by Lily Sanchez.
Good evening. My name is Lily Sanchez. I am the Community Programs Manager for Girl Scouts of Orange County, Santa Ana. The Girl Scouts of Orange County, Santa Ana's Troop 1918 has turned the city's investment into a vibrant celebration of culture, youth leadership, and community well-being. Ballet Folklorico is not just a dance. It's an extension of the Girl Scouts' mission to build girls with courage, confidence, and character. Next slide, please. The grant reflects exactly what Girl Scouts stands for: empowering girls through collaboration, creativity, and service to the community. By supporting Troop 19, we've linked artistic expression to real economic opportunities while giving girls a voice and a presence in Santa Ana's cultural fabric. Girl Scouts, next slide, please. Meet the troop leaders. Girl Scouts of Orange County Santa Ana Center is uniquely positioned to connect arts and youth leadership. Ballet Folklorico Troop 1918 not only provides a safe place, but they also mentor the girls and explore cultural pride, practice teamwork, and engage in meaningful civic participation. All key elements of Girl Scouting. Next slide, please. Our troop aligns beautifully with both the City Arts and Culture Master Plan and the Girl Scout Promise and Law. By valuing differences, honoring traditions, and lifting up every girl, we've created a program that is inclusive, impactful, and sustainable. Next slide, please. With the city's support, Girl Scouts was able to receive professional instruction, wear traditional costumes, and perform for the community. These activities bring Girl Scout learning to life, developing practical skills, leadership, and a sense of responsibility while serving the broader Santa Ana community. Next slide, please. Girl Scouts believe in service and community connection. Each performance wasn't just entertainment. It was a way of girls to give back, to invite others into their culture, and to strengthen ties between Santa Ana's families, schools, and neighborhoods. Next slide, please. At its core, it's about developing future leaders. Thanks to this grant, our girls gained confidence, learned discipline, and took pride in their heritage. These experiences are not just about today's performance. They're building tomorrow's leaders in Santa Ana. Next slide, please. Even at the troop level, Girl Scouts connect arts to the economy. Our work supported local artisans, seamstresses, and even event vendors, while also introducing girls to potential future careers in teaching, performance, and arts management. Next slide, please. Girl Scouts help preserve traditions while encouraging innovation. Troop 1918 brings Folklorico into new community spaces, ensuring that cultural identity is not only remembered, but celebrated and shared with the new generation. Next slide, please. Before, our girls had the passion but limited resources. After the grant, they had the tools, costumes, opportunities to truly shine. This reflects the Girl Scout belief, and when you invest in girls, you transform entire communities. Next slide, please. On behalf of Girl Scouts of Orange County, Santa Ana, and Troop 1918, we thank the city of Santa Ana for believing in girls in culture and community. Together, we're shaping a future where young women lead and with courage, creativity, pride in their heritage. Thank you.
I think I have to speak on this one. First of all, congratulations. And now I'm putting a face. I've seen the kids around in the community, and I've always asked, where are they coming from? I love this. I love that you're doing the work with the Girl Scouts. It falls in line with we're teaching our young ladies to be independent, to share their culture, to help others. It embodies, as we know, our dance form embodies all of those things that are part of the Girl Scouts, right, and the community work. I've loved seeing you in the community at different events. I just want to congratulate you and thank you. And, it takes a village, and to, like you said, to have the tools to be able to present and them to feel confident in what they're wearing and bringing, to their community is so important. So congratulations.
Thank you.
I concur. I also want to acknowledge that your slides really helped us understand the impact that you made. I really like the before and after, and I like the one with the arrows, and you're showing how, it starts, I think, with culture, and then it moves on to, the art and the economy and strengthening the community. So just excellent job on helping us understand what that funding really did for our community, for the people who live here, and, all the families and children.
Thank you.
I almost feel like we should make that a expectation, maybe.
Yeah, I just want to say, before I saw this proposal, I didn't necessarily realize that the Girl Scouts could be responsive to specific cultures and groups of people in particular geographical areas. And it was so beautiful to see it come through in such a lively way and through this slideshow. And so thank you for your work. Thank you for leading these young women to connect with their cultures. Having been part of some of those cultural practices myself as a child, I maybe dragged my feet doing it when I was a kid. But looking back now, I appreciate it so much that I had the opportunity to do that. And thank you for expanding these opportunities and making them more meaningful for the children that get to do this.
Thank you. We're truly blessed.
I just want to say thank you for really preserving the heritage, the dedication, and the hard work that goes into it. I know it's kind of like a lost art, it's not practiced, and to be able to integrate it with Girl Scouts, it shows them professional skills, self-development skills, as well as to preserve the culture. That's really amazing, and I want to thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you. And one last thing, we will be presenting at the Fiestas Patrias. We'll be dancing the parade. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lily. And next is Relamco del Grupo Folklorico with our very own Commissioner Marlene Peña Marin. Yes, please. Yes. I'd like to clarify that Relamco received this grant before Commissioner Peña Marin was appointed.
Thank you, fellow commissioners, for listening to me in this presentation. I am also Artistic Director of Relámpago del Cielo, Grupo Folklorico. We are kicking off our 50th anniversary, and it's hard to believe. So when I see these other organizations come, especially the Folklorico troop with the Girl Scouts, it's incredible to know that this is happening in multiple layers and in multiple organizations. So we were supposed to have an event. Our event was actually supposed to be 2 weeks ago. And we were, as we went into years ago, we started about 4 years ago trying to develop what would a 50-year anniversary look like? What should it be? What should it include? And we thought it can't just be one thing, it should be several events. But how do we kick it off? And so when the grant came through, we really sat and thought, well, how could we use this effectively with the economic impact theme and then bringing this art form and really celebrating 50 years? Because the reality is for a nonprofit organization, cultural organization, that we still basically live out of a box, that we're here sustaining ourselves 50 years later should be celebrated because it's quite a feat. So all that to say, with things that transpired over the summer, we had to quickly pivot and think about how would we do this? We didn't want to not have an event. We wanted to make sure that we were still celebrating. And we also felt that it was needed now more than ever. So I'm really happy to share with you that we will be having a free cultural festival dance concert, free family festival, along with a free dance concert that will be September 20th at Valley High School. New, brand new renovated theater. So next slide. So this is our logo that we came up with, and anyone that works in marketing and all this, all the artwork that goes with it, which are all of you, it's was about a year process. And we really wanted to thank you for helping us celebrate this. Thank you to the commission. Thank you to the city of Santa Ana. It truly, you know, the saying is so cliched, but it takes a village. It does take a village. We cannot do it by ourselves. And it's important that the support that the city is giving, not just to Relampago, but to all these organizations that are sharing today is so critically important. So our theme this year is cultivating tradition and culture, cultivando tradición y cultura, just sharing the roots of what we do and continuing to share it. Next slide, please. So as I said, we began planning the celebration, and we kept thinking, what could we do that would be a gift back to the community as a thank you for the 50 years of support? Well, let's do what we do best, is a concert. So what started as a free concert in the park has now pivoted. We're moving it inside the beautiful Valley High School auditorium, which will be, I think ribbon cutting is coming here soon. But also, how do we bring our community and not just look at the dance form, but look at all the other things that the community has to offer? So we have a free family festival that will include local artisans, food vendors, community resources. We had one of our parents said, you know, my family were really involved in classic cars. Can we bring a classic car show? We said, sure. As a matter of fact, we did another walkthrough just before I came here. And this is our flyer. As you can see, our beautiful dancers. Our original flyer showed dancers outdoor, and then we said, wait a minute, we're pivoting indoors, so we had to change everything. So we have in the last 30 days frantically shifted everything. And again, thank you for your support. The event will start at 4 p.m. on Saturday the 20th with, again, food vendors, artisan vendors, community resources, and then at about 7 p.m. we're going to usher people into the auditorium for a show. We had sent out, we shared this flyer on social media last week, and within less than 24 hours, we were all asking people to fill out a QR code, to just fill out a Google sheet, because we were trying to figure out, how do we manage, do we know how many people are gonna come? Is anybody gonna come? Who wants to see it? Within 24 hours, we had over 400 reservations. By last Friday, we were completely full. But what we didn't realize is we probably should have capped how many reservations people could make, because you know, people buy tickets and don't show. So I will be sending all of you an invitation to the event. We have, you know, seats reserved for special guests, and to also offer the community to come. We don't want by any means to anybody think that this is a sold out event. I don't think it is. And we want to really share with our youth and our community. So we'll be offering free dance classes, interactive dance classes with Folklorico, but will also include some salsa, some bachata, because when you start to learn your families that are involved in your organizations, you realize the talent that's within your groups and all the things that are happening. So in any event, next slide. This is just an overview, quick overview of the event, which I explained. It will start at 4 p.m. Come anytime on the 20th, and I believe that is it. If there are any questions.
First, I want to say thank you for putting in the work behind the scenes. This goes to everybody as well. I know that nonprofits dedicate so much to our youth and people here in Santa Ana, and sometimes they don't go recognized. So I know you guys have been around for 50 years, so that's an amazing feat. So you guys should be proud of that, as well as all the people that have dedicated time and, you know, work towards it. So I'm very happy to be a part of it, and I will be there.
Thank you, thank you. You know, we were born out of Santa Ana College, and I always say we're as much as we meet so many children and family, as big as we are, we're still very grassroots, and it's really about the community.
It's so exciting to see, and also your responsiveness to the moment, and making sure that everyone feels safe and welcome, and but just to see that response to what a affirmation of your connections to the community, and I'm sure many dancers who have been participating over these 50 years may be involved, and it'd be amazing to capture some of those memories as part of that event. And I love to see also, again, a slight collaboration with the school district to really maximize that impact. I had a question, and I think you've also really just affirmed too for all of us, along with one of our public speakers, that we should not just be thinking about investing in new projects, but also projects that have endured and have made a really positive impact. We should maybe be considering funding that will sustain, as one of our public commenters.
I agree, because thinking how does funding really best support organizations, and it's the continuity, which is hard. It's hard to keep that going.
A great cap off to that idea.
Well, first off, congratulations on 50 years. What an amazing accomplishment. I wish Relampago many more years, and I wish all the other organizations as much longevity as well. That alone is a huge, huge feat to sustain this cultural memory within the city for 5 decades, and I hope so many more. I want to echo Commissioner Russell's comments on responding to what's happening politically here, particularly in Southern California, but across the country as well, in a very responsive way that still maintains the heart of arts and culture. And I think you are absolutely right. I think now is the time more than ever to make sure that these celebrations do happen within our communities. And I'm really excited to see the local artists and the, like you said, the talent that is already in our community being uplifted at this festival as well.
Thank you. And honestly, as an organization, we're really honored to be here with all the fellow grantees, because to sit here and listen to all the different work that's happening in different areas and different cultures and different art forms, it's inspiring, really. So thank you all.
Hey, thank you so much, Commissioner. Well, with your ED hat on, Marlene. Okay, and finally, we have Ileana Zepeda de Leon.
Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah, okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for having me. It is an honor to be able to be here with such amazing grantees. If you could go to the next slide, please. It wouldn't be appropriate to talk about the project without kind of mentioning how it kind of got started. I am a resident of Santa Ana, have lived here for most of my life. But growing up, I personally did not have a lot of access to art. Access to art was, for me, what I had in Mexico when I was growing up in Mexico. I had access to like a cultural center where I was able to go and like do art and make everything, cultural, but in growing up in Santa Ana, I grew up in a low-income community where I just didn't have access to that. I went to high school, and the class that I had that was art was a digital media class that taught me about Adobe. So that was the extent of the art exposure that I had. I didn't actually get introduced to art until graduate school because I was able to pay for it. So I always had this inkling of like, I want to do ceramics. I want to do ceramics. And I did ceramics. And for me, it was very therapeutic. It was honestly one of the things that got me through graduate school. It was a way to express myself, and it was a grounding practice. If we could go to the next slide. Ceramics in the community, or also in Spanish, Cerámica en la Comunidad, is a project that aims to expose the city of Santa Ana to ceramics. Ceramics is a different medium of art. It's also not a medium of art that's very accessible to most people because it's expensive. The project will focus on 2 parts. So it'll be a ceramic class where folks are gonna be able to come in, both children and adults, and help hand build a piece. They're gonna paint it, and then the other part of it is gonna be an art show. So we're gonna have an art show also in the community. Both events are gonna be bilingual in English and Spanish. If we could go to the next slide, please. Ceramics in the Community provides children and adults alike with the opportunity to express themselves, explore interests that they may not be exposed to otherwise, provide them with community and a safe space to be creative without a lot of pressure because, it's just for fun. It's also a way to de-stress and disconnect from stressors in one's life, to connect with community in a more profound level. And again, it is exposure to an art form that is typically not very accessible or free. So we're very excited to bring it to the community. Next slide, please. So logistics, the class has not actually happened yet. We've faced some difficulties with the location of where we're having it because they're doing some construction. So as of now, the tentative dates are in October, but nothing has been finalized yet. But it's gonna happen in the Bishop Manor / KidWorks Community Center. It is in partnership with KidWorks as well. So KidWorks is a nonprofit organization that works in the community as well. And the art show will also be happening in the same location. Both of the events are gonna be a month apart because for those of you who know ceramics, it is a long process. So it's the wet clay and then it's the bisque and then you have to glaze it and then so it takes a little while to get to the final product. But yeah, the class and the art show will be a month apart to ensure pieces are ready for the event. Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for all the work that you do and for funding such amazing programs. It really is an honor to be here with such great people.
Congratulations on the ceramic project. I remember taking ceramics in high school, and it was actually liberating in one way, but it's just such a different way of expressing yourself. But I wanted to find out, do you have a kiln, or how are you firing your
We
pieces?
are actually buying the materials because of the grant.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
And hopefully it could be an annual thing. So that's the goal.
I definitely, I want to just express my appreciation and gratitude for bringing the ceramic art form. I know we have a ceramic artist in the room already, so it is growing in popularity, but I think you're right. It is, we see a lot more dance and visual art opportunities, and so it's great to see that. It's I'm assuming you're going to be working with with a lot of children and everything, and it makes me just think of a book that talks about the history of ceramics. It's about the ceramicist Juan Quesada. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar, but I'm just thinking about how we enjoy reading that book at home a lot, and it occurred to me to share that with you. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for promoting and hosting this event, especially in bilingual, especially the cost of art supplies, like you said. I know that me, myself, growing up, we didn't have a lot of programs for art, especially for ceramics, especially since it's so expensive. So I think that's great that you're able to connect with the community as well as the parents in Spanish, because I think that your parents need to be involved to really encourage you to develop that type of art or just any art in general, and to have that inclusion with the family. I think it's very important. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to hear this. I was literally just remarking with my family yesterday how upset I was that ceramics is so expensive as an art form and a hobby. So it's amazing to see this equipment, this infrastructure be brought into the city so that it can be more accessible for anyone who wants to try their hand at it. I want to echo what Commissioner Peña-Marin said about the experience of working with clay. It is so grounding to literally center the clay on the wheel. And I know this is a hand building project, but it's still working with materials from the earth that can literally be harvested if you know where to find it. This is really exciting, and I'm looking forward to see what comes in future years from this.
Thank you, and you're all invited.
Thank you so much, Ileana. Hey, that concludes all the presentations for tonight.
What an amazing, diverse representation of 7 different projects from this artist grant. And I'm so glad that we were able to help bring these projects to life and I know this is just a fraction of the projects too that we've been able to fund through this artist grant program. And thank you all for spending your Thursday evenings to share this with us today. All right, with that, I will move us into our next item. The second item is the discussion of the funding priorities for fiscal year 2025 to 2026. And Bianca, if you could pull up the presentation for that.
Oh, actually, let me recap. The City Council had approved, for those who are new to commission, the City Council had approved $200,000 for arts and culture programming. And Chair Vu had called an ad hoc subcommittee to discuss these recommendations and how to allocate the funding. So that would be the first discussion. The second discussion, item number 6, would be the second ad hoc subcommittee that Chair Vu had called for discussion of criteria for future artist grants, requests for proposals, and/or sponsorship.
Yes. Originally, it was going to be Vice Chair Hernandez to present for the arts and culture budget priorities, but since he's not here, I'll present in his place instead. So this ad hoc subcommittee was composed of Commissioner Peña-Marin, Vice Chair Hernandez, and myself. We met and discussed a number of times on what it is that we feel that the budget really should prioritize. And next slide, please. So just as a recap, in total for a discretionary budget for this year, for the fiscal year 2025 to 2026, the Arts and Culture Commission has $200,000. And this is the first year that we've had our own budget for this commission. So it's really exciting to be able to set the priorities and be able to determine what kinds of projects would best be able to push us closer to our goals. And so when we were discussing this in creating these budget priorities, we needed to ensure that any proposed programming or projects that we suggested would be adequately staffed so that the Arts and Culture Office would have the sufficient capacity to carry out the programming well. That was one of our main priorities in setting aside the budget the way that we did. We want to make sure that anything that we do as a commission represents the city as best as we can and uplifts a very high caliber of the work that we can do. Next slide, please. And so through discussion, the proposal that we want to set forth, and I apologize, it is way too small to see on this little screen in front of us. If you'll turn your attentions to the larger screen over there, we decided that it would be best to split this into 2 buckets. First being event sponsorships, and the second being professional development workshops. So given our discussions as a commission in the past, seeing the impact of the funds that we're able to push out into the community, we really wanted to prioritize most of all these event sponsorships at $175,000. This would be similar to our past event sponsorships. All artists and organizations are welcome to apply, but the event must take place within the city of Santa Ana. Currently, we're proposing a $15,000 cap awarded for any applicant, but that does not necessarily mean that we would automatically award any applicant $15,000 if that's what they apply for. The goal is for us to fund as many events as possible, in particular for applicants who had never received city funding before, to ensure that we are giving to the many artists and the many projects that have existed here in the city for a very, very long time without getting any sort of city sponsorship through that. This application would follow the guidelines from the RFP subcommittee to prioritize Santa Ana residents and organizations. And one thing I really want to highlight for these event sponsorships is that it is to be seen as seed money to help events get off the ground to the finish line, and for artists and orgs that represent the diverse cultures and arts within the city. And then the second bucket for the budget priorities that we want to propose is the professional development workshops at $25,000. So these workshops are intended to build the skills and knowledge of local artists, and in order to really, like I said, increase the caliber of art and increase the caliber of the proposals that we receive. If approved, we would release an RFQ for an organization to partner with the City of Santa Ana to host these workshops. An approximate timeline, potentially release this RFQ in September, sorry, the years are a little bit wrong on this. It should say September 2025. Deadline to submit would be October 2025, sign contracts November 2025, and then there would be 6 workshops from January to June in 2026. We discussed and we landed on, within our subcommittee at least, these topics for these professional development workshops: grant writing, insurance and budget, marketing and outreach, mentorship and recruitment, business structure, whether that's an LLC or a nonprofit structure, and a portfolio presentation and review. This way we'd be able to really touch on so many different aspects of being an artist, running an art organization, that I feel that many organizations and artists have to learn by themselves through mistakes, rather than having the guidance to be able to learn and not feel like you are like fumbling as you're trying to figure things out. And so these are the topics that we're proposing, but still open for discussion here. So with that, I'd like to open it up for discussion among the commission here. Are there any questions, thoughts, reactions to this proposal?
I'm a little confused, being that the only 2 categories were event sponsorships and then the professional development. I don't see the arts grants or investing in the arts. Can you explain?
That's a separate pocket of money, so that has its own money already. That's $200,000 for its own.
And similarly, like the mural restoration project, all of that has its own funding already.
Got it. Second question, we just had a number of presenters here on the dais even, who really affirmed the value of events that were seeded through funding like this, but really have a positive, powerful impact on the community and are worth sustaining, in part because it ensures that these organizations stay in our city and these events stay in our city. And I think it also rewards organizations that do put on great, powerful, empowering events. And I think I would like to see some recognition that we want to use some funding for seeding or sparking new events and giving people the confidence that, maybe this chalk festival, I can put it together. But I'd also really like to see, particularly because we have people who've been coming to us and saying this over and over again, I think we jeopardize their presence in our city if we don't show that we value what they've done and that we want to recognize it officially with funding. Another concern I have that I've raised before, but not everyone was here to hear it, is in the past, we have seen applications where we were basically asked to fund things that made events happen and brought events to life, which are great, but were not necessarily investments in art. We've been asked to fund the rental of tables and chairs and things like that for an event to happen. I just, being that we have more funding than we've ever had, but we still have not as much funding as some other cities, or I would really like to see us make sure that when we do have arts and culture funding, it goes into arts and culture costs. So to pay artists, or to pay for paint, or to pay for clay, or to pay for a kiln, or because it's not for an event, but
do have a question to that point. And I love what you're saying, like, well, let's fund things for artists, supplies. And I don't know in past history, for example, with folklorico dance, which we saw with the Girl Scout troops, the funding helped them purchase costumes. Are those things that would be considered?
yeah. And part of this is a conversation that the commission has had where, it's made very explicit that the funding is not intended to pay for an event in full, right? Which I disagree with in some ways, but I'm happy to operate under that premise. And I think if that's the case, then I don't think we should be asked to pay for the rental of chairs and tables or balloon displays or I think I would much rather see it have a stronger emphasis on arts, because I think if we do that, we actually will get better investment in the artists who who come to our community, and we'll get better engaging events, right? I don't want to see us just gathering people together. Well, I think that's a wonderful thing, but again, as the arts and culture funding, I think it should prioritize those pieces.
Yeah, thank you so much for your comments, Commissioner Russell. Given the discussion that we've had today, I think it would be really worthwhile for us to add as well. I think it's fine for us to have multiple priorities. One for artists and organizations who have never received funding before from the city, as well as existing projects that have been here in the city for a very long time. I don't think it's difficult for us to have both within our priorities for this event sponsorship. And then I also entirely agree with you on the funding of overhead costs, basically, right? Having worked in a nonprofit for 5 years, I understand that those general operating funds can be very, very crucial. At the same time, I do want to see that our funds are being spent as wisely as we can to really promote the arts and the culture within the city. And I think that the best way for us to address this is potentially through the recommendations from the RFP subcommittee. Because that to me seems like part of the RFP process. If we can develop a criteria where when we're evaluating the budget materials, for example, we are seeing how relevant the funding would be, like what is it going to, how much of an impact would that funding have? That can be what we prioritize when we score, so that if we get an application and it's tables, chairs, a soundstage, printing, marketing, maybe that is an application for that criteria that ranks a little bit lower than one where they're really prioritizing instead funding artists, bringing in instructors, bringing in new materials, building out the infrastructure for them to be able to do this bigger, better, engage more residents each time. And I genuinely really think that your input would be really critical to this subcommittee if you would like to join.
I don't think they've convened yet, or I don't know yet. Okay.
They have convened already, but the two members are not here today, not present today, but I believe they can still meet some more if you'd like. The only thing is it would push the RFP farther out, in terms of starting the process of applying and all of that. So then we wouldn't start until later in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are there notes they're sharing today in their absence, or no?
I'm sorry?
Oh, okay. So we don't know the progress they made already.
Mm-hmm.
I have one more. I'm a little conflicted. I'm not sure if this belongs in the other 200K for arts grants, I'm going to call it. Artist grants, I should say. But it's a conversation that I think we should be having, and maybe it shifts. But we also have seen in the past some organizations with many, many resources. They may be nonprofits, but they, even just the person who applies for the event sponsorship has a very lofty title. And, a quick search of their website, and you can see they have all kinds of resources, grant writers, and et cetera. And we pit those applicants against, a neighborhood association. It might be again, I love the Chalk Festival. I'm just going to point out, I think they asked for like $280 or something, and then we had other people who were asking for thousands. And I think we should, if we really care about equity, and we have a history of this happening, and those applicants, we allowed in the event sponsorships for them to apply over and over again. And we had people who did, again, with those kinds of resources. And I just don't think that is a very equitable process. So I just want to share that.
Yeah, I really appreciate those comments to really bring the history and the lessons that we've learned so far from having this event sponsorship so far. The process is not set in stone. For our proposal, it is to have the event sponsorships as a priority, but the details of which are not finalized in any way, shape, or form. So I definitely welcome these comments as we come to the final form of this so that we can present forth a sponsorship program that we can be proud of as well. And on the point of pushing back the RFP presentation, I personally believe that it would be good for us too, so that we can present something that we would be proud of presenting to our residents.
So just so I'm understanding, we have the 200K that's for event and for professional development or support, and then we have the 200,000 that's for just general artist funding, right?
Artist grant.
Artist
Investing in the
grants,
artist grant
investing in the artist grant, okay, just making sure. So two separate pots. And then we're speaking in terms of, to your point, Commissioner Russell, how do we equitably, right, based on the organizations that definitely have wherewithal and those that are newer, need more support? So that would be handled through the separate committee that's handling that, that's just, okay, just trying to understand all the process, okay.
So I just have a question about the second bucket, which is the professional development. For that, is this the first time that they're just doing the professional development, or has there been like a track record in the past?
We've had professional development workshops in the past, and they tend to be one-offs. And they're very successful, but now we want to put together a series. Now the subcommittee has recommended that we put together more of a series to have it more consistent and have it, offer more different topics.
Yeah, because I figured that's pretty much what is it? You teach someone how to fish, you feed them for life. So it'd be great for a lot of the artists to really pick up the professional development to be able to apply for bigger grants. So we better equip them with the grant writing, the resources like you were saying. So yeah, that was just my concern about that.
I think that's a fantastic idea, and I think also just the history that you've had workshops before, but maybe making it more cohesive is needed. I'm also curious, I did raise the topic of the city of Santa Ana possibly benefiting from a grant writer, some funding for a grant writer or someone who might pursue grants. I mentioned there was a California Arts Council grant. I inquired from a few local organizations and artists, and everyone said, there's no way, I don't have the capacity. And I thought, what a shame that this would be such a beautiful opportunity for the city, but people don't have. And so I just think that would also, and I want to share, again, just to kind of give us a sense of some of the things that Santa Ana has invested in the past. Wings of the City, does anyone remember that? Again, it's just such a really cool project that brought people to, it brought an artist into our community. People were engaging with it over long periods of time, and I would just love to see our city also invest in some project like that. Another one that I really loved so much was the Long Road Today, which was a collaboration with a local theater, the South Coast Repertory. That was in 2014. So the Wings of the City was 2017. Here we are, 2012. We haven't really done a citywide project. I have ideas. But, I just would love if maybe we might think about a way that we could create a space for somebody to pursue opportunities like that, so that we could, again, have a kind of citywide arts event that is not, we're not asking for an RFP. Maybe there was an RFP, but we're creating something that brings people, that connects people through the arts together in a way, in a big project like that.
I really love your idea about grant writing for artists. If you don't know how to do it, it's so intimidating, It takes years to really master that skill. Can funds investing in the artist be put for someone that we can hire as a city to maybe be assigned to help one or two or three or four groups that are identified? I don't know if that's Is that doable? Is that possible? Can you use it for that? Or not really?
I'm not sure if we can hire a grant writer to write for specific groups in the
Right.
city. Yeah, because then how are we selecting these groups? How-
Right.
Yeah,
It becomes competitive, yeah.
it's, yeah.
But could the funding, though, be, like, this California Arts Council grant was it would have required the city to collaborate with, let's say, an arts, and I don't know, a gallery or a museum, and maybe an artist, and so it would be a city-led initiative, right? That would bring other entities together, but the idea is that maybe, like, do we have anyone in the Arts and Culture Department today who pursues grants like other cities do?
It's just me, so, yes.
So
and
I feel like if we want to change that and we want to bring a project like Wings of the City, I feel like we have to put our money where our mouth is. And I think these projects are beautiful. I think we are long overdue for something of that magnitude. Again, I think there's lots of really cool ideas out there, and I just think we need to invest in it if we believe in it.
I do agree with you, Commissioner Russell. From what I understand, there are some limitations to what we can do due to the nature of these funds specifically as programmatic. I would love to expand the staffing capacity of this office so that we could explore so many other ideas, but that is beyond the scope of what these funds are available for, unfortunately, from what I understand. So our thinking as we went into making this proposal was, how do we expand the scope, the impact of this commission, so that we can continue to gather the evidence, the data from these events, from these other organizations and artists, so that then we can, once again, propose to City Council to expand this office, to expand this capacity, so that we do have the infrastructure in the future, so that we have staff to be able to do this with our residents in the future. And from my understanding today, this is a work study session, so there's no action or vote needed today. So this discussion could be continued to another month if we would like to sit, ruminate more, have our other missing commissioners chime in as well. So if we have other questions, I'm happy to continue discussing them. We can also come back to it another month.
Do we have an artist plan for the city? Do we have an art plan for the city?
We had an art plan. I think it's probably expired by now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we know who developed that for the city?
They hired a consultant.
It was through a consultant, okay.
I think there's people in the room who might have been part of it.
Oh, part of the steering committee, yes. Yes, it was also community, it involved a lot of community leaders, stakeholders.
And that has since expired?
Yes.
Do we know
That was
how
that was a
long-
10-year plan. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So since this was a discussion for the ad hoc committee, do we want to continue the ad hoc committee, or do you think it's done meeting for the $200,000 budget? You feel it's reached its conclusion, and are we on consensus with how the money will be distributed or allocated?
It sounds like we're roughly in consensus, but I think there's some revising that would be helpful to make sure that additional perspectives are included in this. And so, Commissioner Peña-Marin, if you're open to it, I'd like to continue for another month, just so we can revise and sharpen this proposal.
Yes, I'll make myself available.
Okay, thank you.
And again, maybe this is not on the agenda, so correct me, but we did talk about themes for funding opportunities 2 months ago. Is that something that is being explored here, or is that when the artist grant officially is an agenda item?
I think technically it should be but I think it can fit well with discussion for proposed criteria for artist grant, the RFP for the artist grant.
Okay.
I think we can talk about it.
Okay.
Are we ready to move forward on to the next item, Chair?
Yes. So the third item is discussion of the proposed criteria for artist grant requests for proposals. And for that, I will start by saying that the two commissioners for this ad hoc subcommittee, Commissioners Ochoa and Hernandez, are not here today, but I believe that we can discuss whatever we would like, and I can definitely report that over to them or have Tram do it so that we don't violate any the Brown Act. And so given that, would you like to share your thoughts or questions, Commissioner Russell?
Sure. Very similar to thinking about like divvying up the funding into like seed funding and then maybe sustained funding. I've heard from a lot of artists and organizations who have been funded or who are interested in funding that also there's an inequity because you have these larger organizations and then you have these individual artists. So in that same, the same way I was proposing we think about it for event sponsorships, I think thinking about the funding that there might be individual artists who get funding and then there might be organizations. And that might level the playing field in some ways for those entities. And then I'm really excited for the theme topic because I've also been engaging in a lot of conversations with local artists and organizations. Thinking about that we're thinking about investing in the arts and investing in creativity. I kept thinking about how we don't want to be prescriptive. We really want to inspire. We really want to inspire. We don't want to tell people what we want them to create. We really want them to come to us and be like, well, here's how I responded. And it made me think that maybe we should be not stating a theme, or for my English teachers out there, immigration perhaps is not a theme, right? So it's a noun. But what if it was a question? And it made me think about some of the collaborative efforts of the Santa Ana Artists Coalition, who surveyed, I think it's like in the 2,000 range of people, and they simply asked people walking by a space where there was going to be a mural, what would you dream of? What do you dream of to see on this wall? Or what do you dream of for Santa Ana? And I have a lot of different ways we might think of this, but I just wonder if maybe a question is more appropriate, might spark more new ideas. Like I think about also how we've been having some discussion about people who are rooted in this city and how we might use a question to get to that, like why? Why this city? Why this place? Why now? Why here? Or what connects you to this place? Maybe, right, if we have people who are working here and don't necessarily reside in this city, or what makes this place so special to you? I also think about the importance of storytelling and how storytelling can happen through different genres, but what are some of the stories about this place that need to be told? That maybe, our family stories, our stories of resilience in the face of some of the challenges we have right now. And even out today, just thinking about so many of the presenters talking about feeling empowered. I think it was the Girl Scouts. And maybe the question should be more about what makes you feel courageous or what makes you feel empowered, and how the word power, in Spanish, for instance, is used, when we talk about people having a powerful presence, right? It's such a term of endearment and love. So those are some of my thoughts.
Thank you for all of that. Those are wonderful thoughts. I really brought a lot to think about, which is wonderful. I love it. So are we tied to the grants having to have a theme? Does it have to?
I think it would benefit the city too, as well as folks who are creating, to have something to focus them. So otherwise it's harder to also compare apples and oranges if somebody's proposing a big grant, something else, and somebody's proposing a very small project. But the theme will connect them. The theme will say, oh, this speaks to that, and it will help elevate the entire city. It will help bring just awareness or something like that. or help include a different population that had not been included. So I think it helps focus for each year. Otherwise, they'll just come up with random things constantly that may or may not be relevant to this city.
Well, to Commissioner Russell's point, is it possible, I like the idea of posing a question, which will help narrow it, right? Or give it some sort of guidance? Is that a possibility?
Absolutely, yes. I think because this is a new idea, which is a very good idea, perhaps I can invite all of you to write down a bunch of questions or themes, other themes, send it to me, I'll compile it, and then we can do it all through email or something, or by the next meeting. So that way you have some time to sit with it.
I would definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
I do really appreciate the suggestion of making it a question instead, to really invite responses rather than saying that this is like the only the only category of art that we want to fund right now. Opening it up is always within my interest, and so I'm very glad that you brought this up. Yeah, I would be very interested in seeing what we can collaboratively come up with, seeing where the overlaps are among the commissioners, to see what questions really are driving us when we think about this work and the arts and culture here. Are there any other thoughts or questions regarding the artist grant request for proposals currently?
Commissioner Russell, are you confirmed to join the ad hoc subcommittee?
Yes, I will
Okay.
join, yeah.
Then I'll connect you with Commissioner Hernandez as well as Commissioner Ochoa, and then you can set up your meetings.
Thank you, Commissioner Russell. And with that, then, I will move us into staff member comments. Does staff have any comments they wish to share with the commission?
No, not this time.
And with that, we'll move into commission member comments. Does the commission have any comments they wish to share? Commission members, please note that no member may speak more than once until all have had an opportunity to speak. Also, the commission may limit our comments to 3 minutes each.
I have so many comments. It's Chicano Heritage Month in Santa Ana, and they talked about that at the city council meeting on Tuesday. And so I just want to acknowledge that the Chicano Gothic mural, that if you grew up in Santa Ana and you went to Memorial Park, then the pool, you might have grown up seeing it. And obviously that park is all fenced off, and we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but because of some artists and some local journalists stepped up and asked questions, that the mural was slated for demolition, essentially, and they made sure that did not happen. And so I want to applaud those individuals. And also, the work started yesterday, I think. They were out there cleaning up this historic mural. And I'm just so excited. As a teacher locally, I just can imagine all the really exciting projects that could happen around this. And I just want to the restoration of murals is just as important, that sustaining idea, as sparking new ones. I also want to give a shout out to the Santa Ana arts staff who's been posting on social media. I am learning things. I'm learning about new artists. It's just a fantastic job. I also have to shout out to Travel Santa Ana because they have done a tremendous job of documenting the murals, like Chicano Gothic. They have a really great little clip I think there's a video even, but just little history and elements. And Maria Gonzalez from Travel Santa Ana has just led this effort. I see her engaging with artists, following up with artists, creating opportunities for them, and she is just we should give her an award. She is just a treasure and such a asset to our community. There's so many. I also want to give a shout out. I don't do this often, but John Spiak from Grand Central Arts Center, he hosts these arts dinners where all kinds of local artists come together at a local restaurant, and they all share their work, and you can tell they're all nervous. And he's been doing this for a long time, and I don't think he gets the due for that. But I just want to make sure that they just had one last week, and it was a fantastic event. I learned about all kinds of art and work that's happening in our city that I didn't know about, and so that's another wonderful, beautiful thing that happens here. And then there's just so many exciting events coming up. The Chicano Heritage Festival this weekend to tap off the month. Delhi Center with their new library and all that is doing a family literacy night. I'm so excited about that on the 28th. And I believe we have an artist who I think received some grant funding, Elizabeth Cardenas from Artsy 101, who's been just shepherding a lot of that work at the Delhi. The Frida Cinema has their monthly Stop Making Sense on Friday the 29th, which is just a fun, people get up and they dance in the aisles, and it's just something that, again, you don't see in other cities. We have Art Walk coming up again, which is so exciting, on the 6th. Cool Lab is returning after a little pause there because of some of the things happening. And if you haven't been out to Cool Lab,
do you have any people?
yes, you could use this right here. Okay. For all our little artists who get to hear people, getting up on stage for the first time and singing and poetry, it's just incredible. I'm so excited for the Backhouse Dance collaboration and the open rehearsals that are happening, and I intend to make it to at least one of those. We have drawing. There's a drawing night tonight at Chapter 1, I just saw earlier, and the Disability Drawing Club at Grand Central if you have to go. It was so fun. We spent more than 2 hours there because we could not leave as a family. We have writing workshops happening through Breath of Fire at Grand Central also on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We have DJ classes happening at the Pizza Press every Monday night. It's an incredible community. There's jazz music happening on Wednesdays in 2 different locations in Santa Ana, Chapter 1 and the Club 616. And then lastly, because we had the fantastic OCTAC talking about the luchador, and I just keep thinking about, well, the luchador is such an interesting symbol right now. The Santo Sundays at the Frida, again, is just a wonderful family event. I had so much fun, and I can't wait to take some of our families. And I will pause there, but I just wonder, it's just a joy to live in a city with all of this happening, and that we get to raise our children in such an environment and get to connect with our neighbors, and hopefully make sure everyone knows that we appreciate them, we see them, and we want to protect and engage with them.
Thank you for that, Commissioner. You just gave me more things to add to my calendar.
So I want to say thank you guys for having me here and being part of this. I just realized how much of an impact we're doing here, especially with all of the nonprofits and the people we grew up with. So I think that's really great. One of the other things is, do we have like a master list of like all the events?
It's through the Frida Cinema. They put out an email. It just came out today. It's very lengthy, but I think it's the best. It doesn't have all of these things on it, but it's the closest you're going to get to.
I was just asking you because over the last couple of months, because I tend to like repost or share a lot of the community events that are going off, both in English and in Spanish. I know some community members don't know that we have these programs until they see the story, and they'll be like, oh, we're offering, so-and-so. And so just to be able to inform and just educate our community about the events, the things that are happening, and, programs and resources that we have, just to get more education out. But yeah, overall, those are pretty much all my comments.
And I'll close this off for tonight with once again, thank you to all the wonderful organizations, artists who were here presenting about all the work that they're doing. We've said it so many times before, but art and culture are what really bring communities together, make people feel at home, make people feel safe, make people feel like they belong in community with one another. And all of the work that's being done is amazing. And I'm so glad that we as a commission get to be a part of that journey with you all. It's so amazing to live in a city that values so many different parts of our communities. And I know for a fact many of my friends who live in neighboring cities are honestly jealous of the programming that gets to happen here. So many applauses to all of you. And I will close up by saying, welcome, Commissioner. Sorry, give me one sec. Bermejo. Welcome. We're very, very glad to finally have this once again be a full 7-person commission to really expand our capacity to do what you said is really the crucial work that we do get the opportunity to do, and we welcome you.
Thank you very much. I look forward to serving and working alongside you guys. I appreciate it.
Alrighty, everyone. And with that, this meeting is officially adjourned. The next regular meeting is scheduled for Thursday, September 18th